The South China Sea, also known as the Southeast Asian Sea, has a different name for Filipinos, the West Philippine Sea. This name is important to them because it reflects their legal claim. The Philippines bases its claim on history, proximity, and legality, not on imagination, greed, or coercion. Unlike China, which claims 90% of the Southeast Asian Sea, the Philippines only claims what is legally theirs. You might be wondering, why is there so much tension in this vast sea area? The Southeast Asian Sea, as others may call it, has been quite peaceful before, even after the discoveries of oil and gas reserves in the area in the 1970s. The vast sea, approximately 3.5 million square kilometers, has been the fishing ground for many fishermen from different countries. It was only about a decade ago that tension started to rise to high levels. Why? What happened and what caused it? Actually, according to many people, it's not really about the question of what caused it, but more about who caused it. These same people speculate that this trouble is largely caused by the greediness of one man, the leader of China's Communist Party. In 2012, Xi Jinping, accused by many people of having a notorious reputation as a transgressor, came into power, and according to history, the situation in the area has never become peaceful and calm since. Xi Jinping consolidated power, and China's CCP has heightened its assertiveness in various regional and international issues, including maritime disputes in the South China Sea. Military activities, island grabbing, island building, unlawful seizure of territories, and diplomatic tricks have increased to assert China's bogus claims, according to many people in the region. Why is China's CCP, under Xi Jinping's leadership, so aggressive in trying to control this vast area of seas and seize other countries' territories at any cost? According to Aaron Foyer of ENERGYminute, the Southeast Asian Sea is a key maritime corridor. It contains 12% of the world's fish catch, 11 billion barrels of oil reserves, and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas reserves. It also handles 1/3 of global maritime traffic and $13 trillion in annual trade. Let's go into more detail about what that means. The South China Sea is a crucial maritime region in Southeast Asia, connecting the Pacific and Indian Oceans. It serves as a major international trade route, with 1/3 of the world's shipping traffic passing through its waters, rely on this sea for transporting goods, energy resources, and other essential trade. Freedom of navigation. Ensuring freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea is a major concern for the international community. The United States conducts freedom of navigation operations to challenge what it sees as excessive maritime claims that could hinder the rights of other nations to navigate and conduct economic activities in the area. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, is the main legal framework governing maritime disputes, including those in the South China Sea. China, a claimant state and part of UNCLOS, disagrees with its decisions. UNCLOS struggles to implement the law because of China's military power. China has rejected the law and instead flexes its muscle in the area, resulting in the bullying of smaller nations, scare tactics, and illegal intrusions. Territorial claims. The South China Sea is the subject of multiple overlapping territorial claims by several nations. China, Taiwan, Vietnam, and the Philippines all assert sovereignty over various parts of the sea. China claims territorial sovereignty over much of the South China Sea based on historical records and maps. It asserts that the area has been part of its traditional territory for centuries and points to its 9-dash line as a historical boundary that encompasses most of the South China Sea. However, neighboring countries widely contest this claim, and it is not recognized under international law. Taiwan, like China, claims territorial sovereignty over parts of the South China Sea, particularly in the Spratly Islands and Paracel Islands. Taiwan cites historical records and maps to assert that these areas have been part of its traditional territory. However, other regional countries contest these claims, and they are not widely recognized under international law. Vietnam claims territorial sovereignty over parts of the South China Sea, including the Paracel Islands and Spratly Islands, based on historical evidence and geographic proximity. Vietnam argues that it has historically occupied these areas, and its claims align with its maritime boundaries as recognized by UNCLOS. However, other countries in the region, particularly China, also contest these claims. The Philippines asserts territorial claims over the West Philippine Sea, which covers the Spratly Islands and Scarborough Shoal. The Philippines bases its claims on geographic proximity, historical occupation, and the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, EEZ, recognized under UNCLOS. These solid legal grounds have led to tensions with China, which uses coercion, aggression, and excessive force to control Philippine waters. Despite being a smaller nation, the Philippines fights hard in these disputes and vows not to allow its territories to be taken by China. The Philippines took a significant step by suing China for its illegal actions in the West Philippine Sea. In 2016, the Philippines won the case against China at UNCLOS. The international courts demanded that China stop intruding into Philippine waters. However, China ignores this ruling, sending a message to the world that it is above the law and, as a military powerhouse, it is not afraid of anyone stopping it from grabbing Philippine territory. It was the Philippines that sued China. It was the Philippines that brought the case to the international courts. And, due to obvious reasons, it was the Philippines that won in the courts. Geopolitical implications. The South China Sea holds significant geopolitical importance, highlighting the shifting power dynamics in the Asia-Pacific region. China's increasing military presence and assertive actions in the South China Sea have alarmed neighboring countries and the United States. In response, the U.S. has been bolstering its security alliances and partnerships in the area to counterbalance China's influence, particularly by reinforcing its ties with the Philippines. The American government has declared numerous times and consistently reminded China that its ties with the Philippines are ironclad. It means if a Filipino soldier is killed by China's aggression, it will invoke the treaty between the two allied nations and will not hesitate to engage in a war with the Philippines.
I want to be clear. I want to be very clear. The United States defense commitment to the Philippines is ironclad. The United States defense agreement with the Philippines is ironclad. Any attack on the Filipino aircraft vessels or armed forces will invoke our mutual defense treaty with the Philippines.
The U.S. is not only interested in protecting its allies, but it is also committed to freedom of navigation and ensuring that international waters remain open for all countries. The South China Sea is not China's private lake, despite how it treats it. China does not own it. The international law already states this. China's claim is illegal and unlawful. Except for the waters within the exclusive economic zones of a country, the rest of the seas are free for all nations to pass through. This is crucial for the global economy. Any disruptions in shipping routes or resource extraction could lead to economic instability and higher energy prices, impacting not just the region but also global trade. China must awaken to the truth and accept that the seas in Southeast Asia, also known as the South China Sea, are not its private lake. Resorting to coercion to get what it wants through illegal, wrongful means will only lead to economic and political instability, potentially war. For those affected by China's aggression, it is time to sit down and discuss how to handle this matter legally and ethically. Unity among the affected nations is crucial. The ASEAN nations must unite and help each other. Through their collaboration and collective action, they can prevent tension and escalation in the region. Now is the time to act before the issue aggravates further and leads to an unwanted scenario. Together, the ASEAN can protect their shared interests and uphold international law. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video.